today's episode of Drop the Knowledge by Citoloop. I'm your host, Daniela Fonseca, and I'm excited to bring you a deep dive into one of the most innovative projects happening in Europe's green industrial transformation, the Citoloop project. Today, we were joined by a representative from Motorex, Parvin Zar. She is a team leader in research and development of industrial lubricants, and she will be talking about metalworking fluids' role in sustainable manufacturing. So, first of all, welcome, dear Parvin. It's a pleasure to have you with us on the podcast today. To start, could you kindly introduce yourself and your role at Motorex?
My name is Parvin Zare, and I'm a chemist. I've been working on metalworking fluids development since 2016 as I joined Motorex in Switzerland.
Excellent. I would like to know a little bit from you. If what was your journey in here, and if you would like to let me know a little bit about your role at Motorex and as part of Citoloop.
Sure. So as I mentioned, I'm working as a metalworking fluid development chemist, and I had the privilege of getting to know some of the research institutes and researchers currently involved in Citoloop during my PhD in the past when we collaborated on another multidisciplinary EU project in tribology. So 2 years ago, they approached me with the proposal, and after reviewing the targets and opportunities for collaboration, we were motivated to join the project. Our role as an industry partner in Citoloop is to provide insights into the challenges of developing a chlorinated paraffin-free formulations for applications which requires very high performance. Of course, we also contribute to the exchange of information regarding existing regulations and approvals which are in the market.
Oh, that's great to hear. That's an excellent introduction. Thank you for that. Let's delve a little bit into our topic. For those unfamiliar, can you briefly explain what are metalworking fluids and what is their role in industrial processes?
Metalworking fluids are basically fluids used in various machinings. They help cooling and lubricating the tool and workpiece. They remove chips, protect against corrosion, and improve surface finish. This makes the process more efficient and extends tool life.
That actually makes the demand bigger right now, right? How do they impact then the environmental sustainability? Because sometimes, even though we talk about the technical benefits, how can you summarize for all of the listeners of the podcast the environmental sustainability, both positively and negatively?
So basically, metalworking fluids can have a positive sustainability effect by cooling and lubricating tools to reduce energy consumption, protecting tools and workpieces to minimize material waste, and enhancing the process efficiency for faster and more precise machining. As negative effects, depending on their compositions, metalworking fluids can have negative environmental and health effects, including water, soil, and air pollution originated from oils, additives, or metals, microbial growth in water-based metalworking fluids, which require actually treatments with potentially toxic chemicals, disposal challenges due to their hazardous nature, and health risk from mist exposure and contaminations.
Yes, that's a lot to take in. Of course, that when we hear you talking about positive effects, it makes all the sense that industries are increasing the demand for more efficient, in this case, lubricants, but there are also this negative side that we need to work along the way. Why is it important to consider sustainability in the formulation and in the use also of these metalworking fluids?
There's the environmental impact. So metalworking fluids can contain chemical substances that can be harmful to the environment. If these fluids are not properly handled or disposed, they can contaminate water and soil, leading to long-term harm to aquatic life and ecosystems. Sustainable formulations aim to minimize the chemical load and reduce overall environmental footprint. Secondly, it's the regulatory pressure. Across Europe and globally, we are seeing tighter rules on the use of hazardous substances, with some chemistries being completely phased out. Developing sustainable metalworking fluids ensures compliance with current but also future regulations, which reduce the risk for both manufacturer and naturally the end user. Third, it's the health and safety aspect. Operators are in direct contact with these fluids every day. Safer and more sustainable formulations can improve workplace conditions by lowering these exposure to potentially harmful substances. And finally, there is the efficiency and energy perspective. Sustainable fluids are designed not just to replace banned ingredients, but also to improve the performance by extending tool life, reducing energy consumption in machining, and by lowering the waste volumes.
It's good to hear that, and all the balancing that you have made when talking about the different aspects. So when talking about this, the sustainability, what are the key elements that make the metalworking fluids more sustainable? Is it about the base oil? We need to take a look into the additives, or is that the biodegradability that takes the most time and research and development to make it more sustainable?
It's actually about the whole system working together. It starts with the base oil, so traditional mineral oils coming from petroleum, which isn't renewable and can harm the environment. Sustainable fluids often use vegetable-based oils or synthetic esters, which are biodegradable, renewable, and they are naturally gentle also on nature. But the base oil is not the only part involved in this story. There are additives, the chemicals that brings the performance, prevent rust, reduce wear, or control foam, they also play a very crucial role. In conventional fluids, some additives are toxic or hard to break down. Sustainable formulations replace these with eco-friendly and non-toxic alternatives that still protect the tool and improve the performance. And at the end, biodegradability is what ties it all together. A fluid may be made from renewable oils and safe additives, but if it lingers in the environment, it is still harmful.
Yes, it's like looking at the triad. We have been looking into these advantages and disadvantages, sustainability. How do the sustainable metalworking fluids perform in comparison to the traditional ones in terms of tool life, cooling, and lubrication? I'm asking because in the beginning we said that they were better, or at least that they performed well. But if we compare, what can you say to our audience?
So when we compare sustainable metalworking fluids to traditional ones, we see that today's eco-friendly options can match or in some cases even exceed performances in some cases. So modern sustainable fluids, especially those made with vegetable-based oils or synthetic esters, provide excellent lubrication and anti-wear properties. So these factors helping to extend the tool life. Their water-based miscible or synthetic formulations also dissipate heat effectively. They keep both tools and workpiece cool even under demanding machining conditions. With the right combination of base oil and eco-friendly additives, they reduce friction and prevent surface defects just as well as conventional fluids. On top of that, these fluids are safer for workers. They last longer and reflecting not only efficiency and performance, but also our responsibility to the environment and the world around us.
makes sense. You talked about the tool life and that metalworking fluids, they last longer and can be recycled. What role does fluid longevity, if that's a term, of course, and recyclability play in making the metalworking fluids more sustainable?
We have to understand that sustainability isn't just about the chemicals themselves. Fluids that last longer can be recycled, reduce energy use, and are safer for workers is better for both people and environment. In essence, a truly sustainable metalworking fluid should be able to balance the performance, safety, and environmental care, which would reflect our responsibility to the world we share.
Thank you, dear Parvin. According to this, what are the challenges that developers, chemists, and others, the other investigators, what are the challenges that you face when you try to meet performance standards, of course, that they also involve sustainability and regulatory requirements?
Developing sustainable metalworking fluids is a careful balancing act. On one hand, developers must meet strict regulatory requirements that limit toxic chemicals, enforce biodegradability, and ensure workers' safety. On the other hand, the fluids still need to perform at a high level, providing excellent lubrication, cooling, and wear protection. So finding the additives that can do both, actually, finding the additives that are both effective and non-toxic can be difficult, and biodegradable materials may oxidize or degrade faster, and that would affect the stability and shelf life. So also another challenge is regulations vary across regions. So formulations that work in one country may not be even allowed in another one. Then you also add the cost pressure and compatibility with existing machines and the need for recyclability. You would see why creating a fluid that is safe, compliant, environmentally friendly, and high performing is such a complex challenge.
Yes, this is not a one size fits all approach, as you were saying. Looking ahead, how do you see the role of metalworking fluids evolving in the broader push toward circular and climate neutral manufacturing?
So metalworking fluids are also becoming a key part of workers' and environmental safety strategies. By combining performance and low environmental impact, metalworking fluids can help actually manufacturers to meet the twin goals of efficiency and sustainability. In essence, metalworking fluids are evolving from a purely technical tool into a strategic lever for circularity and climate neutral production, helping industries achieve more sustainable operations while maintaining high performance and productivity.
That is great to hear. As you were saying in the beginning and now ending as well regarding the metalworking fluids, they are functional materials. There's still a long way to go since there are still some disadvantages, of course. But since as a community, we are looking into designing products that can be recycled, aligned with the circularity agenda, that is a great way to for us to understand how to evolve from traditional lubricants to metalworking fluids, and that's a great way to close the podcast with the message of how the metalworking fluids are part of the circular systems and how a company such as Motorex is looking and working with them. Dear Parvin, thank you so much for participating in this session. To our audience, thank you for joining us. Follow our work on our website and social media, and stay tuned for our next episode.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, dear Parvin.
Thanks. Bye-bye.